Good morning everyone. Today we will discuss about introduction to immune system. Basically, first we will see what is immunity. Immunity is body's ability to resist or eliminate potentially harmful foreign material or abnormal cells. That means for every, we all know that our bodies are surrounded by many microorganisms which can affect our body intensely. So to combat the infections, our body has got certain mechanisms to eliminate these or neutralize these effects of microorganisms. So that's what is called as immunity. We call it as natural resistance to an infection is called as immunity. So here we will see in detail about immune system. So basically immune system is not a organ, or it is a functional system. It's not an organ, it's collection of many systems. So it usually includes physical barriers like skin, lining membranes, like secretions like which contains antimicrobial substances, and blood cells, vasculatures which consists of WBCs which combat against infection, and bone marrow cells which try to produce or mature the B lymphocytes, and liver which makes complement proteins, lymphatic system and lymphoid organs where these antibodies are stored for further usage, and most of the tissues also have resident immune cells like macrophages which acts as sentinels of immunity or first line of immunity. So in a collection, immune system is not an organ, it is a complex of various systems. So when we see the term immunity, it's in Latin immunis means exempt, state of protection from infectious disease. So its immunity is basically ability to resist or eliminate potentially harmful agents. So it consists of various activities like it provides defense against invading pathogens, removal of worn out cells, and identification, destruction of abnormal and mutant cells which will be done by natural killer cells, we all know, and rejection of foreign cells, and inappropriate responses in cases of hypersensitivities and allergies. So immune system basically consists of two systems: innate immune system, adaptive immune system. Innate is a non-specific primary defense system. When it comes to adaptive, it is a second line of defense. When innate immune system usually develops by within the body. So it is this is how we see innate immune response, wherein first line of immunity is innate immune system, then comes to acquired immunity. So these acquired immune system includes slower responses. When it comes to innate immune system, it shows rapid responses. That means whenever the pathogen enters into the body, this innate immune system immediately comes into act. So innate immune system includes external defenses, internal defenses. In external defenses includes skin, mucous membranes, secretions. When it comes to internal defenses, phagocytic cells, antimicrobial proteins, inflammatory cells, and natural killer cells. When it comes to acquired immune system, it consists of humoral system or cell-mediated response. So these are the two certain differences between innate and adaptive immune system. Innate immune system has no time lag. When it comes to adaptive, it consists of age. It occurs a lag period, and non-antigen specific response is seen in case of innate immune system. When it comes to adaptive immunity, it is antigen specific. That means particular antibodies are produced against particular antigen. And when it comes to innate immune system, no memory cells can be detected. When it comes to adaptive, memory can be detected. So first we will discuss about innate immune system. It has external defenses, internal defenses. The innate immune system shows the interaction between the external and internal immune systems. So these are anatomical barriers comes under external defenses like skin, mucociliary escalator, flushing action of skin, tears, and urine. All these comes under anatomical barriers. The skin which present all over the body tries to produce certain secretions like which combat against the infection. Mucociliary action present in case of nasal passages and certain other systems tries to evacuate or eject the foreign particles, antibodies, antigens that enter into the body through their flushing action. When it comes to saliva, tears and urine, the same action can be seen. In saliva, certain antimicrobial proteins and enzymes can also be seen which acts against antigens. And when it comes to chemical barriers, antimicrobial peptides present in sweat, hydrochloric acid present in stomach, lysosome present in saliva can act as antimicrobial agents. Biological factors, normal flora present in every part of the body. They act as commensal organisms. These commensals try to combat with the attachment of pathogens, or they combat with the food that is present in the body. That's how they try to eliminate the pathogenic bacteria. That is about external defenses of innate immune system. When it comes to internal defenses, it includes blood. Blood consists of two components, plasma and red blood cells. Plasma consists of various chemical components, and when it comes to red blood cells, it composites of RB cells that are present in the red color, and in between these two consists of a buffy coat which consists of WBCs. These WBCs comprises of important components of immune system. Plasma consists of extracellular proteins like complement proteins, coagulation proteins, cytokines. These act in innate immune mechanisms. When it comes to WBC, when we see about WBC, these are various cells of white blood cells that will participate in innate immune mechanisms. Monocytes, whenever they are present freely flowing within blood, whenever they are within the blood, they are called monocytes. They have the capacity to reach various tissue organs. So whenever they reaches any tissue, it is called as macrophage, where they can act as resident leukocytes or resident macrophages. They can combat infection whenever that tissue is attacked by any infection. Eosinophils, neutrophils, basophils, all these are present within the cells. And when it comes to T lymphocytes, the various types of lymphocytes are also can be detected, like B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, and natural killer cells. So first we will see about neutrophils. Neutrophils are the most abundant cells present in WBC. This is about 50 to 60% of, it comprises 50 to 60% of volume of the WBC, and these are most efficient phagocytes. They show their action by phagocytosis. This means phagocytosis means cell killing. So phago means to eat. Cyte means cell. So phagocytosis is the killing of cell or eating of the cell. These phagocytes, these neutrophils shows their primary effect by phagocytosis. So this is how phagocytosis occurs. So whenever the microbe or other particle enters the tissue, the neutrophils comes into the particular area, tries to engulf that particular microbe inside through extension of its pseudopodia, and after indulge of that particular microbe or particle, it forms a phagosome. This phagosome combines with the lysosomes that is present within the neutrophils. These neutrophils, with combination of this phagosome comprises of phagolysosomes. In this, they release these lysosomes release certain digestive enzymes which will digest that particular, thus causing digestion of that particular microbe. So along with this phagocytosis, neutrophil has certain other roles in like chemotaxis and certain other roles like antigen presentation. Because of presence of certain receptors over that particular cell structure, it is able to present the antigen to the leukocytes or lymphocytes, other leukocytes or lymphocytes, and also it also triggers the inflammatory response. Next comes to monocytes. Monocytes comprises of less than 5% of WBC. These migrate to whenever they are present in the blood, they are called as monocytes, and they have the ability to reach the tissues, and they become macrophages. Whenever these monocytes reach lungs, they are called alveolar macrophages. In bone, they are called osteoclasts. In tissues, they are called histiocytes. In liver, they are called Kupffer cells, and in brain, they are called microglia, and intestine, they are called as intestinal macrophage. Depending upon that particular organ, it has got that particular name. So what is macrophage? Macro means big, phage means eater. Macrophage means big eaters. So their size is bigger in size, and they have the ability to phagocytosis. So they are called as macrophages or big eaters. They also have capability of presenting antigen to the adaptive system or other cells. Next, coming to natural killer cells. Natural killer cells these are not neither B lymphocytes. These come under neither B nor T lymphocytes. They are separate set of lymphocytes. They have ability in killing virus or bacteria infected cells and other cancer affected cells. These have that particular ability to differentiate between the normal cells and bacteria affected or tumor affected cells. These natural killer cells, as the name indicates, they tries to kill these particular infected cells. So these natural killer cells they can be able to differentiate between normal cell and infected cell because of the presence of certain receptors over that particular cell surface. So these usually natural killer cells, they form pores within the cell and kill that altered cells. Now coming to, we will see about toll-like receptors. These are certain pattern recognition receptors that are present over that particular cell. So these TLRs are transmembranous protein present on macrophage and can also be seen on various other cells. These are conserved across vertebrates, an important part of innate immune system. These TLRs, they look for the microorganisms. That means they can detect the incoming microorganism. They can able to detect that, differentiate between normal cell and virus cell or bacterial cell. So they able to bind to the microorganisms, and that's how they trigger the cascade of events to kill or to combat that particular pathogen. So that's how the immune response will be activated. And so these will bind to components of microorganisms. TLRs bind to microorganisms. Thus they can be detected by the other WBCs or other immune cells. So these TLRs can recognize the lipopolysaccharides present over the bacterial cell wall, and even lipoticoic acid and flagellin proteins. All those things have certain receptors which can be detected by these TLR cells. That's how it recognizes that particular bacteria or virus or any other pathogen. Thus, inflammatory responses can be able to initiate or start. So, whenever TLR binds to microbes, it shows certain reactions and certain responses like secretion of cytokines, interferons, all those things, and because of and also initiates phagocytosis of infected cells, inflammation, and even apoptosis of the infected cells. These are all the results of the binding of TLR to the microbe. So in summary, innate responses can be cellular innate responses can be observed by the WBCs. That means various neutrophils, basophils, monocytes, and other cells, lymphocytes, like lymphocytes. So the first things that comes into whenever a microbe enters into the organ or body, the first cell that comes to the action is neutrophil. So hence these are called as primary sentinels of immunity, or first line soldiers, or first line policemen in immunity. So that is about WBC component. Where now we will see about this plasma component of blood, which will show immunity in innate immune system. Like first we will see cytokines. Cytokines are the small chemical proteins that are present within produced by the various cells. That means almost all cells can be able to produce these cytokines. These cytokines, whenever an inducing signal is obtained, the cytokine producing gene is activated. Thus cytokines are produced. These cytokines will be able to detect the target cells because of this presence of receptors. Thus effects can be shown. So these cytokines will show can modify the behavior of other cells, and these can also be called as signaling molecules, and they are key players in innate and acquired immunity. So in innate immune system, almost every cell, every type of cell is able to release cytokines like neutrophils, macrophages, TLRs, natural killer cells, lymphocytes. These all things, whenever they get activated by any microbe or pathogen, they are able to release this particular chemical components called as cytokines. So cytokines includes interferons, tumor necrosis factor, and interleukins. These are various sets of cytokines released by cells. First we will see about interferons. Interferons are signaling molecules produced by virus infected monocytes and lymphocytes. So interferons are particularly released whenever the body encounters with a virus. So these are key antiviral proteins. They will interfere with the viral properties or viral replication, and they also warn the neighboring cells about that particular virus. So how does this interferon act? Here we can see whenever a virus enters into the cell, this cell produces interferons. These interferons try to signal the adjacent cells. These adjacent cells will be informed by these particular interferons about this virus, and they themselves produce an antiviral state, or that's how it happens. In this antiviral state, viral DNA causes it blocks the replication of RNA virus. That's how the replication of virus can be stopped. Now comes to interleukins. It's about 1 to 37 numbers interleukins are seen, and they are not stored inside the cell. They can be produced by various cells like neutrophils, all those things. They are quickly synthesized and secreted in response to infection, and these are key modulators in behavior of immune cells, mostly secreted by T lymphocytes and macrophages. These interleukins have many roles in proliferation of immune cells and increase in antibody production, activation of immune cells, and progression of inflammation. So these interleukins have a combined effect of inducing all these reactions or progressing all these reactions. So next, coming to tumor necrosis factor. This tumor necrosis factor also have an effect into killing bacteria or initiating the killing of cancer cells and fever and inflammatory reactions. Now coming to complementary components or complementary proteins are a set of 30 proteins. These are usually plasma proteins or transmembranous protein that will bind to microbes and coat the microbes, and these are the essential part of innate immune response and also enhances adaptive immune system. These have C proteins or complement proteins have various roles in facilitating phagocytosis by combining or coating the particular microorganisms that by the process called opsonization, and direct lysis of they have the ability to directly lyse pathogen, and also in case of inflammatory reactions. So whenever bacteria is encountered, the complement protein will coat the bacterium. This process is called opsonization. By this coating, the receptors present on the bacteria will be able to be seen by the phagocytic cells. That's how they can be easily combined with the receptors present over the tissue phagocytic cell. This phagocytic cell further by the process of phagocytosis can be able to kill the pathogen. That's how they help in this phagocytosis process. And this, in addition to this, these C complement proteins have the ability to form a membrane attack complex. That is, by forming this complex, they can be able to directly lyse the membrane of the bacteria. So that's how it is called membrane attack complex. So these all have the various pathways can be are seen to form membrane attack complex. Like in direct, they can be membrane attack complex can be formed in direct pathway or lectin pathway or alternate pathway. So by combination of all these complement proteins, this membrane attack complex will be formed, which will directly lyse the bacterial membrane. Now coagulation also includes in innate immune mechanism. It's a mechanism to stop bleeding after injury to blood vessels. It includes platelets, coagulation factors, and vitamin K. So this it provides a balance between the presence of coagulants and anticoagulants should be there so as to maintain this inflammation and other apoptosis of infected cells. So that's how the summary of external defenses. We have seen about phagocytic cells, antimicrobial proteins, inflammatory response, natural killer cells, and complement. So this is the summary where we see about innate immune responses, like internal defenses. We can see internal and external defenses. In case of internal defenses, we will see cellular and extracellular defenses. In cellular defenses, we see various cells that are present in WBC, various types of WBC, that are neutrophils, monocytes, macrophages, natural killer cells, toll-like receptors. When it comes to extracellular defenses, we will see cytokines, complement proteins, and coagulation. Cytokines includes various interferons, interleukins, and tumor necrosis factor, and complement proteins and coagulation factors. So this all comes under internal defenses. So this will finish the first introduction to innate immune mechanisms.